Lucky enough right now to be joined by the head coach of San Diego State's men's basketball team, Brian Dutcher, joining us on the Cannon. San Diego State with a gutsy win yesterday. This was not easy. They trailed by 16 points to Pepperdine, a very good basketball team in the WCC. San Diego State stormed back. They're in the top 25 now. They're 4-0, and they won it 65-60. Dutch, it's always great to have you on, and I'll start there. I mean, what did you think of the way Pepperdine played early, and then what did you learn about your team when you came back and won that game in the second half?
Well, we knew Pepperdine was good because we watched them firsthand for 2 games, live and in person, when they played Irvine and then UCLA to 3 overtime. So we knew what we were getting into. And they came out of the gate, and basically a football term, they punched us in the mouth. And they played physical. They took us out of what we wanted to do. Threw our timing off and really put us behind early. To our credit, we didn't panic. We just hung in there, made a couple adjustments as the game went on, and just kind of did what we did to the other teams we played this year. I think we wore them down a little bit with our numbers over the course of the game.
What did you say at halftime to the team?
I just said, put the first half out of your mind. Learn from what we can learn for, but know you're good. Don't doubt yourself. If you miss free throws, don't worry about it. If you made a mistake, we'll have plenty of time to correct that. You have to believe you're good. You have to believe that we're capable of coming back and be the best version of yourself in the second half.
Dutch, tell us about the strategy of playing such a challenging non-conference schedule and how you hope that it can pay off. I mean, UCLA, top 25 when you played them. Pepperdine has had a good start to the season. We know about Irvine, picked at the top of the Big West. You've got Arizona State ahead, BYU, St. Mary's. From a scheduling philosophy, why do you guys schedule such challenging opponents, and how do you hope that it pays off down the road as the season, continues into March?
Well, we've always been big proponents at San Diego State, whether it was Steve Fisher or me, about playing less conference games. That we feel our best chance to make the NCAA tournament is to do it in the preseason, to try to play a challenging non-conference schedule. And that's what we've done. We've got less games this year than we normally get to play, and so we wanted those games to be challenging to give ourselves a chance in an at-large bid. And so we've done that. And there's games to be played. It's hard to believe Pepperdine was picked 4th in the WCC, and we have the 3rd and 2nd place picked teams to come. And then we have a very good Arizona State team that was either picked 1st or 2nd in the Pac-12. So we are challenged schedule-wise, but I like that. I think our team, being the veteran team we have, is up for that kind of challenge, and we shall see moving forward.
The Pepperdine game is one of my favorite results for a team I care about because the result on paper is the win, but it feels like a loss, right? So you get the win, but you actually get the learning lessons that may be attached to a loss. Do you view this the same way as I do? Like, you guys battled back and you found a way, and maybe you look at them as a team that shouldn't have given you as many fits, even though you watched them and you saw them do the same thing to UCLA. But it's a great outcome for your team because you get the W, but it feels like a loss.
Yeah, Dave Velasquez said today that, some programs don't make adjustments until they lose games. We've had a tradition and a history of being able to win games, yet still self-evaluate, not to think we're just winning because we're talented, that we have things we have to do better. And I told the team today, we're not clicking offensively yet, but I'm not surprised. We're 4 games in with 3 or 4 new faces getting minutes in the lineup, guys getting used to new roles. And so we're a work in progress offensively. Our defense has carried the day. It's kept us in games. And the thing about Aztec basketball, we always get better as the year goes on. So I like where we're at, but we have a lot of room to grow, and that's what we're trying to do daily.
It's been amazing. Brian Dutcher joining us right now on Xtra 1360. It's been fun for me to watch the evolution of Jordan Shackle's game throughout his time at San Diego State because he was doing things yesterday I don't think we necessarily saw when he was a younger player on the Mesa. Speak to really the player he's become for your program and the second half that he had yesterday, because it wasn't just spot-up shooting, knocking down threes. He was able to get inside and make some big plays when the game was on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan is going to have opportunities to drive the basketball because they're going to run him off the three-point shot. He's such a gifted three-point shooter. So now he's grown his game. They're running him off the shot. He's attacking off the dribble, and he's getting to the basket, and he's finishing. and he's playing off the dribble in the attack. Now, the key, as I said, moving forward, Jordan, is now can you grow your game one step further? Can you drive in there, and if they take the shot away, kick it and find an open shooter? Can you be the complete playmaker? And that's what we do. We try to grow everybody's game within our team concept. And Jordan's been with us 4 years. He's grown his game every year, and you're starting to see him getting more opportunity to do things this year.
Yeah, that's a pretty intense focus on just one player in your offense. But you mentioned earlier that the whole team isn't clicking offensively. What specifically would you like to see the team do better on that end of the court?
I thought yesterday when I have to get in a rhythm, calling plays that get us comfortable on the floor. In the second half, we found a ball screen play where everybody kind of knew where they were supposed to be, and the spacing was perfect, and we played out of that spacing. I think as we're running up and down the floor and we're playing fast break basketball, that sometimes we're not making great decisions, and that has to come with time. We have to grow that aspect of it. That when we come down and the floor is unbalanced, that we're still in attack mode and we know where our teammates are and what we're supposed to be doing. So we spent time on that today. So there's always room to grow, and I think that's our biggest area to grow is when they take away our initial break, that we can flow into something that's dangerous offensively.
Your team has really an unbelievable opportunity on Thursday night in Tempe against Arizona State. It seems like the Sun Devils are a gifted offensive team with some really talented young players. Joshua Christopher, Marcus Bagley, Remy Martin is an unbelievable scorer. What type of opportunity is this, and what type of challenges will they pose?
It'll be a great challenge. They are so fast and quick with the basketball at multiple positions. They attack the basket like no other, and we have to help, yet we have to close out on shooters, and they run that ball, and they are gifted physically. And so we're going to have to help. We can't leave guys on an island one-on-one. We're going to have to play help defense, yet be able to get back and contest shots. So this will be a real challenge for us on the road.
What's the personality of this team this year? If you were going to try to put in a paragraph, how would you describe this team you have this year?
I think it's deep. We can go 10 deep and I think we buy in defensively, that they truly believe that if we're going to be the team we want to be, it's defense. And it worked out. Sometimes things work out where, as a coach, the things you preach come to fruition. And I told them we have to be great defensively because there'll be games where we don't score. And our defense has to hold us in those games until our offensive talent takes over. And that's what happened yesterday. We could not throw it in the basket in the first half. A lot of that was due to Pepperdine. Yet our defense kept us within striking distance. A lot of teams might have folded, and it could have gone from 16 to 24 to 25 points, and we didn't let that happen. We stayed within striking distance with our defense, and then when we finally got a rhythm offensively, we could play our way back into the game.
Dutch, in this unique year with the postponements and cancellations we've seen around the country, are you a proponent of the way they will set up the NCAA tournament this year, which is essentially the same way? I mean, with 68 teams, it might be in one city or one state, but are you a proponent of 68 teams? Would you like to see more than that potentially this year?
I want them to take as many teams as they can so we can be in it. So if it's 68 and we're the 68, I'm good with that number. If it has to be 70, let's take 70. I want to play in that thing. I'm still mad we missed it last year, so I want to get this year's team somehow into that tournament. And there's a lot of basketball to be played, obviously. But we've done what we had to do so far, and we just have to continue to keep getting better.
All right, well, hold on to your hat for a second because I had
he was just talking about
some sort of revelation just minutes ago before we had you on the show. So this is what I'm proposing if I'm at the head of the NCAA, which I'm not and never will be. I'm sure that they'd kick me right out of those offices. But if I were in charge for a day, this is the change I would make. 350. Get them all in. I mean, let's start off this tournament as early as possible. Give every single school an equal chance to play. Now, you have a shorter conference-only schedule or something like that to start your season and help with seeding, but then get every single eligible school in the tournament, and let's whittle the field down to find out who the national champion is for real.
Yeah, I think that's a novel idea. Because teams are going to play shortened seasons this year. Some teams play 27 games. Some team will play as few as 20 games. And it's hard to get a real resume on anybody. But I know they've talked about that earlier in the year. So, I think the ACC might have been the proponent of playing everybody in the tournament. But I think the NCAA looked at it and didn't feel logistically they could get that done. So I don't know what it'll be. I've made a living at only controlling what I can control, and that's our level of play. So I don't worry about that too much right now. We've got a lot of basketball, and we have a lot of improving to do if we're going to be in that conversation at the end of the year.
Dutch, before we let you go, this will be your first road game of the season. So what are the logistics? Because typically you'd hop on a plane, you'd play a basketball game, you'd come back, but this year obviously is different. So what does this year present that wouldn't have been presented in previous years?
We're not going to get on an airplane until January. We're going to bus to Phoenix, and any other year we'd fly in there. But we're going to bus in. We'll get tested. We'll do our COVID testing before we travel. 9 in the morning, we'll get tested. We'll practice. Send them home to shower because we're not showering in the on-campus facilities. Bring them back. Eat in the eat distance in the practice facility as best we can, and then get on the bus and drive there. And then when the game's over, it's, I think, an 8 o'clock start there, so it'll be late. We'll get on the bus and come back that night and be back at 3 in the morning.
Wow.
And 2 weeks from then, we'll bus and play St. Mary's at Cal Poly, I believe. We'll bus there and play that game and bus back. And then the conference opener, I think, is New Year's Eve in Vegas, and we'll bus to Vegas. So we're trying to stay in our pod. We're trying to stay out of the air as best we can, and so it presents challenges, but we're just so grateful to be playing it all. So every opportunity we're grateful for, and we want to keep having that attitude where we're not going to worry about what hardships are caused. We're just so thankful to be playing basketball.
I got to ask you this question before we let you go, because I know this answer is going to change throughout the season, so I'm sure we'll ask it again. But what has been the most challenging pandemic-related change that this season has brought that's been the biggest impact on the team so far, the season so far?
Our county and administration has been so great. So when I say this, it's as close to normal as we could have. We didn't get our summer, which was a challenge. I like to get the young guys in the summer and get them acclimated, but we didn't get that. We didn't start until school started. We had a 2-week shutdown. But since then, we've had morning individual workouts. We've had full team practices. We're getting in the weight room, and we're doing it because we're trying to live the right way within this pandemic. Like I said, we could be shut down at any moment. You know how this thing, the virus is spreading, the numbers are going up, and hopefully we're immune to it, but I'm not naive enough to think we couldn't get hit by it. So we're just enjoying every day that we get on the floor and trying to take advantage of that.
Well, Dutch, we didn't even ask you about being ranked, but congratulations on being ranked. I know your thoughts on being ranked. I'm sure you'd rather be ranked than unranked, but it doesn't mean that because you're ranked, you're going to win all your basketball games, right? There's no guarantee there.
No, but we're used to it, John, in the conference, and Rich, that we have a target on our back. We've been the best program in the Mountain West for a lot of years, and so we like being the hunted. We like taking everybody's best shot, and being ranked just makes that even more of a case, and we'll be ready for that challenge.
Safe travels. We're excited. Top 25 matchup. San Diego State, Arizona State, Thursday night right here on Extra 1360. Dutch, always great to catch up. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys, for having me.